3 numbers every parent needs to know. Number 1. Since January 2025, baby food pouch manufacturers selling in California are legally required to make their heavy metal test results publicly available on their website and through a QR code on the packaging. Every pouch, every batch, every month. Number 2. Consumer Reports and Unleaded Kids evaluated 39 baby food brands to see how well they comply. 20 of those brands, more than half, require parents to track down a lot number or scan a UPC code before they can see any results. Some make it nearly impossible. A few publish nothing at all. Number 3. One of the brands on our avoid list today has been publicly identified in active federal litigation for allegedly selling baby food that contained dangerous levels of heavy metals. And a class action against them was dismissed last year, not because they were proven safe, but because the plaintiffs could not establish sufficient economic injury. We investigated 6 brands, 3 avoid, 3 that actually show their work. Stay until the end because we will show you exactly how to check any pouch you are currently buying in 30 seconds for free without any app. Before we name brands, here is the context that makes this video different from everything else you will find on this topic. California Assembly Bill 899, AB 899, passed in 2023 and took effect January 1st, 2024. It requires all baby food manufacturers to test each product they sell in California for lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury at least once a month. As of January 1st, 2025, those results must be publicly available on the manufacturer's website and accessible via QR code on the product label. Here is why this matters even if you do not live in California. No manufacturer is going to print separate labels for one state. The QR codes are on products sold nationwide. That means parents in all 50 states can now access the same test results that California law requires to be public. What does this mean in practice? When you pick up a pouch at Target, Walmart, or Whole Foods, flip it over, find the QR code, scan it. If it takes you directly to test results without requiring a lot number, that is a fully transparent brand. If it asks you for a lot number, that is a middle-tier brand, but the results should still be accessible once you enter it. If it goes nowhere useful, that is a red flag. And one important note, the QR code only covers the 4 legally required heavy metals: lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. It does not show pesticide levels, BPA, or the hundreds of other contaminants that independent certifications like the Clean Label Project test for. We will show you how to check those too at the end of this video. One important thing before we start. The FDA says no baby food pouch currently on U.S. shelves poses an immediate danger. We are not here to cause panic. Heavy metals are persistent in soil and water and cannot be fully eliminated from foods grown in the ground. The goal, as both Consumer Reports and the American Academy of Pediatrics say, is to drive exposure closer to zero. And the single most powerful tool parents have to do that is choosing brands that actually tell you what is in the food. 6 brands, 3 that hide, 3 that show. Go-Go Squeeze is one of the most widely purchased squeeze pouch brands in America. The brand's parent company, Matern, has described it as the leading squeezable fruit pouch in the U.S. market. That scale matters because it means more babies are eating this product daily than almost any other brand on this list. Here is what Go-Go Squeeze does not do. They do not publish independent heavy metal test results. They are not Clean Label Project certified. On their website, Go-Go Squeeze states that arsenic is regularly tested and that their products conform to all U.S. regulations. But conforming to U.S. regulations is not the same as publishing independent results. And here's what their ingredient labels do show on certain product lines. While Go-Go Squeeze's core applesauce products are made from whole fruit with no added sugar, several of their other product lines, including some yogurt and flavored blends, contain fruit concentrates instead of whole fruits. Fruit concentrates are processed, higher in sugar per gram, and lack the fiber of whole fruit. Some product lines contain added cane sugar, and certain product varieties contain rice flour, and rice is one of the most well-documented sources of inorganic arsenic in the food supply. Gimme the Good Stuff, an independent baby product safety review site that evaluates brands against Clean Label Project standards, described Go-Go Squeeze in their 2026 Baby Food Pouch Guide as the worst of every brand they reviewed. Go-Go Squeeze is not in active litigation, but the absence of any published independent testing for one of the most purchased baby squeeze pouches in America is the problem. Parents deserve to know what is in the pouch their child eats every day. Beech-Nut is one of the oldest baby food brands in America. In February 2021, the U.S. House of Representatives Subcommittee published its investigation into heavy metals in baby food. The finding for Beech-Nut was specific and serious. Beech-Nut's own internal testing found high levels of arsenic, lead, and cadmium in their ingredients, and the company used those ingredients anyway. What has happened since then? They discontinued their entire infant cereal line, citing difficulty sourcing ingredients that met safety requirements. They have introduced stricter internal heavy metal limits. They have built a testing transparency platform. And yet, Consumer Reports rated Beech-Nut as middle of the pack on transparency, meaning parents must have a product in hand and enter a lot number to see test results. And the legal situation. Beech-Nut is a named defendant in MDL 3101, the federal baby food products liability litigation consolidated in the Northern District of California. We want to be fair to Beech-Nut. They have made improvements since 2021, but a brand that used ingredients after its own tests showed high heavy metal levels, and that still requires a lot number before showing test results, has not yet earned the level of trust that the other brands on today's list have built from the start. The third brand on our avoid list is the one whose parent company is named alongside Beech-Nut in that same federal litigation, and it is sold at one of the most visited stores in America. Then we are going to show you 3 brands where the data tells a completely different story. Parents' Choice is Walmart's store brand baby food line. It is the least expensive option on this list. In 2019, when the Congressional Subcommittee on Economic and Consumer Policy first requested heavy metal testing data from major baby food manufacturers, Walmart, through Parents' Choice, did not cooperate. The subcommittee publicly described their lack of transparency as greatly concerning. In Consumer Reports' transparency analysis, Parents' Choice received a low rating. In Consumer Reports' 2026 testing, Parents' Choice Sensitivity Premium contained inorganic arsenic above Consumer Reports' daily level of concern. As of July 2026, Walmart is a named defendant in the active federal baby food products liability litigation alongside Beech-Nut, Gerber, and others. The cases have not been dismissed. Parents' Choice is the cheapest option on this list, but at a price where transparency is the cost being cut, cheap is not the same as safe. Now here are 3 brands that decided from the beginning that transparency was not optional. Cerebelli was founded by Dr. Teresa Persner, a practicing neurosurgeon with a PhD in developmental neurobiology from Stanford University. That background shaped everything about how the brand approaches safety. Cerebelli was the first shelf-stable baby food brand in the world to receive the Clean Label Project Purity Award, tested against over 400 contaminants and heavy metals. Not once. Every batch is independently tested by a certified third-party laboratory for lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic before it leaves the facility. Here is the net information gained for this video. Cerebelli offers a lot code lookup on their website. You type in the code printed on the back of your pouch, the Julian date code, and you see the specific test results for that exact batch. You do not need to have already bought the product. You can look up any lot code before you buy. Consumer Reports and Unleaded Kids gave Cerebelli their highest transparency rating in August 2025. One thing we want to be transparent about. Cerebelli had a voluntary product recall in 2023 for a limited batch. The brand identified the issue through their own testing system and acted proactively. That is exactly what a strong safety system is supposed to do when it finds a problem. Shelf stable, no refrigeration required. Available at Amazon, Target, and Whole Foods. Around $2.69 to $3.49 per pouch. Serenity Kids is the only brand on today's list, recommend or avoid, that leads with protein instead of fruit. Every other brand here builds their pouches around fruit purees and vegetables. Serenity Kids leads with grass-fed beef, pasture-raised chicken, and wild-caught salmon blended with organic vegetables. That is nutritionally significant because breast milk, what formula and baby food is designed to complement, is primarily fat and protein, not sugar and carbohydrates. On safety. Serenity Kids tests every production run through a certified third-party laboratory for heavy metals. They hold all production facilities to SQF Level 3, the most rigorous food safety audit standard available. Their heavy metal benchmarks are guided by European Union standards, which are stricter than current FDA limits. And they are Clean Label Project certified for over 200 contaminants. One important transparency note. Consumer Reports and Unleaded Kids rated Serenity Kids as middle of the pack in August 2025 because accessing specific product test results requires scanning the product's UPC code. That means you need the product in hand before you can see results for that specific lot. It is more transparent than Go-Go Squeeze, Beech Nut, and Parent's Choice. It is slightly less accessible than Cerebelly and Once Upon a Farm, where you do not need the product first. Shelf stable. Available at Amazon, Whole Foods, and myserenitykids.com. Around $3.79 to $4.49 per pouch. Once Upon a Farm has the strongest overall transparency profile of any brand we evaluated today. Consumer Reports and Unleaded Kids gave Once Upon a Farm their highest transparency rating in August 2025, one of only 16 brands out of 39 evaluated to receive that distinction. They received both the Clean Label Project Purity Award and the Clean Label Project Pesticide-Free certification. Their batch-level test results are accessible on their website without needing a product in hand. Their entire portfolio is produced to European Union safety standards alongside U.S. regulations. High-pressure processing, HPP, means their pouches are preserved through cold pressure rather than heat, eliminating the need for chemical preservatives and reducing the risk of plastic migration that retort heat processing can cause. And they are the most affordable of our 3 recommended brands, around $2.50 per pouch. Available at Target, Amazon, Whole Foods, and Costco. One practical note every parent needs to know. Once Upon a Farm pouches are refrigerated. They require cold storage from production through purchase through your refrigerator at home. For parents who need shelf-stable pouches for travel or on-the-go feeding, Cerebelly and Serenity Kids are the better choice. For home use and anywhere with refrigeration available, Once Upon a Farm is the brand with the highest overall certification stack at the lowest price. This section is the reason to watch this video even if you already have a brand you trust. Step 1. Pick up any pouch in your kitchen right now. Flip it over. Find the QR code. It should be there by law if the product was manufactured after January 1st, 2025 and sold in California. Step 2. Scan the code. If it takes you directly to test results without requiring a lot number, that brand is fully meeting the standard. If it takes you to a page that asks for a lot number or UPC code, enter it. The results should be there. If it goes to a general website homepage, that brand is not meeting the standard. Remember, the QR code only shows results for the 4 legally required heavy metals. It does not cover pesticides or other contaminants. Step 3. Go to cleanlabelproject.org and search your brand. If it appears with a Purity Award, that is independent third-party verification across 400 contaminants, far broader than what the QR code shows. Step 4. Go directly to the manufacturer's website and look for a heavy metals or safety testing page. Brands like Cerebelly and Once Upon a Farm publish batch-level results there, searchable without needing the product in hand. Step 5. Rotate brands. No child should eat the same pouch every single meal, every single day. The American Academy of Pediatrics specifically recommends dietary variety to reduce cumulative exposure from any single ingredient source. Go-Go Squeeze. One of the most widely purchased squeeze pouches in America. No published independent heavy metal testing. Fruit concentrates in certain product lines. Rice flour in some varieties. No clean label certification. Beech Nut. A 2021 congressional investigation found they used ingredients after internal tests showed high heavy metal levels. Still middle of the pack on transparency. Still named in over 400 active federal lawsuits as of 2026. Parents' Choice. Refused to cooperate with congressional investigators in 2019. Arsenic above Consumer Reports daily concern level found in 2026 testing. Still named in active federal litigation. Cerebelly. Clean Label Purity Award. Lot code lookup without needing the product. Founded by a Stanford neurosurgeon. Voluntary recall in 2023, handled through their own testing system. Shelf stable. Serenity Kids. European Union Standard Heavy Metal Limits. SQF Level 3. Clean Label certified. Every batch tested. Protein First Nutrition. Once Upon a Farm. Highest transparency rating from Consumer Reports and Unleaded Kids. 5 out of 5 clean label score. Batch results accessible without a product code. HPP cold pressed. Refrigerated. California AB 899 gives every parent in America the right to see the test results for the food their baby eats. The QR code is on the back of the pouch. Use it. All sources are linked in the description below. Everything is verifiable. Which pouch brand does your baby eat? Tell us in the comments. Other parents reading this want to know.